So today I'm going to talk about a few things. First of all, I got my thing that arrived, but guess what? It didn't work. You put it on there, and then you put this on, and then you turn it, but it was so stiff that didn't work, and it kept just like missing basically. I mean, it fitted in, it just wouldn't turn. It just wouldn't turn. It looked like it was about to break, and I tried really hard, and then my hands just basically started turning red, and then I just tried a little bit harder, and then my whole arm started hurting, and then I was like, okay, I can't do this. And then I went to the neighbour to try getting a guy to do it, and he couldn't do it either, and he said that I need basically a metal one of this and probably have some sort of lever at the bottom just to add even more, like it's properly stuck on there. The guy who did it definitely was very strong, I know that, but he's wedged it in very hard. But yes, I also want to show a little present that I bought for my hamster. I have lots of hot water bottles, but now I have a special hamster hot water bottle. So I guess it's called a hand warmer, but the idea is you put it underneath the cage, and then the heat kind of warms up the area where it is. I have my cage on the bed, and then I just slide it underneath the bed so that I do have one up there, but it's a bit of a big one, but this is more of a personalised one, and I don't want it to overheat, so having it a smaller one is probably a good idea. And yeah, so when it's in couched in its bedding, it'll have some extra heat coming up, so that would like it. It would like that. And yeah, so I want to talk about the three the crazy people that I was talking to today. I guess I've tried loads and loads of attempts to get people to hear me and believe me, or maybe believe me, and I'm always trying to contact people, and I'm never getting anywhere. It's like they don't remember, it's like they don't care, it's like they don't want to know. Christians believe in Jesus, so the second I say that I don't believe in Jesus, or I'm Christ and I'm not him, they just lose interest and have absolutely no interest in me. And anyone who believes that God is a male, everyone who believes in God usually believes it is male, and when I say that I'm God, they just lose interest. I can't get anyone to be interested. And then you watch the UFO people that are on the government being like, you're covering it up, and they're trying to blame the government for covering it up, and I'm just like, I'm God. I'm basically a Christ from a different world, and I've been here for 11 years, and I've been desperately trying to tell people, and no one believes me because no one's taking me seriously. I think the problem is the world is full of liars. I was posting on some random UFO sites just to see what kind of reaction I would get. I think a couple of people might believe, but I just don't know, because I feel like some people might seem like they believe, but really they're just being sarcastic or having a joke, or she's lying to me about pretending to be God, so I'm going to lie to her and pretend that I believe her. There's a lot of people that think like this, and therefore if someone says that they believe, I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take that seriously, because that's not how life works. People lie, and they lie to people who think are liars. And one of the posts, I got a guy claiming that he's been captured by aliens, and they asked him questions. Can we paralyze you? Can we do experiments on you? And then I didn't actually read his comments, to be honest. I flicked through it, and as soon as he started talking about an alien abduction, I was just like, well, this obviously is a liar. And I know what he's thinking, which is that this girl is lying to me. She's obviously trash, so I'm going to lie to her. And I don't care what I say or how ridiculous it sounds. This girl's obviously mentally ill, and therefore I can say whatever I want to her. And it's really annoying, because just because I've said I'm Christ, and I've put some pictures that kind of back up this theory or this belief, they just automatically think that that's a sign to attack me. And then you've got people in making government, court hearings about how the government is trying to cover things up, when in reality I have been trying to expose myself for 11 years and I can't get one person interested. It's not the government that is covering me up. It is everyone who's ever come across my posts and yet have just chosen to ignore me or just see me as a crazy person. Those are the people who are covering it up, and I don't know what it is. It's really angering me, because it's like humans aren't real. It's like they've got some sort of spiritual programming that makes them not think what they're thinking, but something inside of them makes them, if they come across my post, it's almost like they just have an instant ability to disbelieve, don't care. And I think the problem is that there are so many liars here, and that when they come across me, they just think that I'm one more liar, and it's kind of horrible. So first of all, I guess I was just talking to some people and seeing what kind of reaction, and then one woman seemed like a Christian, but I don't think she really was, but she was open to anarchy, and I don't know, I don't want to insult her, because if you don't know the truth, I can't expect someone to know the truth. I didn't know who she was until I spoke to her, and she didn't know who I was until I spoke to her. She's still very keen to want to blame everything or compliment everything on God, and I still think that it's just like, yeah, I don't like it when people kind of assume that I've done terrible things that I haven't done, and likewise if people are assuming that I've done good things, and when I haven't actually done that. I don't know. I don't think she's quite got the idea that just because I'm God, that doesn't mean that I'm doing everything for you, and I don't think she's quite got that. But step by step, she doesn't have to understand that part. She doesn't mean harm on people, but she led me to this guy who thinks he's 4, and he kind of reminded me of the Amazing Atheist, and I haven't seen the Amazing Atheist videos for a very long time, but he's a good guy. I kind of liked him, and it's interesting because a week ago, or a few days ago, a text of his popped up on my phone. I don't even know how it is, because I don't follow him or anything. I haven't watched his videos in years, so I don't know how the Amazing Atheist has ended up on my getting a notification on my phone. I don't know how that's happened, but it happened, and this guy kind of reminded me of that, and he also believed that he's 4, so I was like, okay, I'm going to find this guy. Maybe he's got some imagination, maybe he's going to find out about me and then start coming up with some new theory. I didn't think that it would be the truth, but I thought maybe he would just come up with some sort of fantasy about how we're sisters or whatever, how I'm just a god, but because there's power or proof behind me being a god, maybe he'll be able to use this to try and back up his own delusions. That's kind of what I was expecting from him, and I was expecting something along that lines, he posted probably about 3 things. I think I saw about 3 posts of his, but for some reason his 3 posts were winding me up. And I just ended up saying more and more and more, and I felt like I kept needing to stop, because it was like, he's not posting anything, I need to stop. I'll wait until he's responded more, but he didn't, and then I ended up just finding myself hearing the Madonna You'll See song and the Gaga song, and I don't know why, but I just felt really drawn to saying more and more. And then I went to go and talk to some other people, and then I noticed that that there was a post that I hadn't seen. I think it's because there's lots of different threads. You have the main conversation from the main thread, but if you start pressing reply on some of the messages, it starts a new thread, and because of this, the ordering sequence was in a funny order. But one of the ones that was done 4 hours ago, so right at the beginning, was basically him saying that he thought lots of people were going to die, and that, I don't know, him saying bizarre things, really bizarre things. And if I had have seen those posts, I would have definitely commented in a far more stricter, viler, what the fuck, you're obviously mentally ill kind of way. But I didn't respond like that because I didn't see that message. And then when I looked, I was like, are there any more messages that I've missed out? And then I found more and more and more, and then there was one about him having freckles on his face, and it's saying something of God or something, light of God or whatever. I don't know what he was. He thought that there was literally some wordings on his head, and his belief actually was so vile. It was men and women and children are all going to die, unless of course you've got the seal of God marked on your head. And then he started saying that the Gentiles are people that have some markings on their back or something, like a dimple on their, just on the lower back, and that's bizarre. But some of the things were worse than that. I've actually forgotten what he said, but a lot of them were, I don't know, just wanting him believing that he was God, and I really can't remember. It's not worth it. Whatever he was saying it was mad. It was madness, and him waiting for his bride, even though he's 57. So you're waiting for your bride and you're 57, and why would a bride just come to you? Or I don't know. I mean, and then, but I posted on that. I posted on another post that he posted about, because he was saying how he wanted to work with Eve. I know something like Adam and Eve are just represents of male and female, and they need to work together. But he himself saw himself as being above both of them. He sees himself as being a god, and he had a whole long list of unbelievable, crazy delusions. And yet he was calling me the delusional one, and then also saying that I'm going to die in the next 10 years, and saying that I should be careful and watch what I say to him, because it's all going to bounce back. With all the comments that I mentioned, I copied and pasted his comments and actually used the same comment that he gave to me and changed the words. So if the wording that I gave back to him was kind of vile, it was because of that. But I literally saw about 3 or 4 of his posts, and it's kind of strange because I saw 3 or 4 of his posts and then copied and pasted them, and then like retold them, but made it aim straight at him. And then afterwards I started seeing all these other posts that he'd made. So it's a complete lunatic, and I didn't see all those posts. And I'm trying to see, because I was posting not realizing he was only sending me anything, and then when I've seen all these extra posts that I didn't see, it's almost like in a way I was talking back to him, but I wasn't actually. It makes me think that if you were to do a conversation where you have 2 people and you have like every minute you can see one thread, one message, and then you have to just try and have a conversation, but you're not actually allowed to see all the other messages, and then afterwards you take the timings of when they were and put them together to see what kind of conversation. That kind of how it felt like to me, like I was having a conversation even though I wasn't seeing anything, and then afterwards I started seeing all these other messages, and then it kind of made sense. But I should have been I would have changed the wording. If I would have seen what he was posting, I would have actually just stopped and been like, you're a fucking nut job. But yeah, I know not to judge someone by their looks, because by his looks he seemed very normal and very average. But it's weird though, because he believes that he's Thor, got some sort of gift from God, that he's here to save mankind and end all the people that are Gentiles, and he's got some very, very strong terroristic beliefs, and yet he himself was born with some sort of chronic bone disorder, that had left him in pain all his life. So I'm just like, well, if you're a god, why would you do that to yourself? I don't know. But yeah, so that was one that I shouldn't have talked to, but I did talk to him again today. I shouldn't have done, but I like to talk to these people because I want to know what I'm up against. You know, there's a lot of mad people in the world, and this guy clearly is someone who rejects me, and he said that, you know, he's accusing me of being the Gentiles and saying that I'm going to die when really he is, and well, we all are, but he's 57, so he's a lot closer to death than I am. But yeah, he total mad person, and had absolutely no ability to listen to. I think the sexism, I think he was very, very sexist. The reason why he likes the Adam and Eve story is because Eve submits to Adam, and Adam is the sort of leader figure, and that's the reason why he likes the Adam and Eve story, not so that they can work together, but so they can work together according to God's will, which is according to the Bible, which is that Adam was made first and Eve second, which is bullshit. But yes, if he wants to believe those lies, I'm okay with that. But I was at the beginning thinking maybe we could kind of, maybe he would like take the beliefs I have and turn and the delusions he has and sort of mix them to form some sort of halfway point. That's what a lot of people who are delusional like to do, but no, not with him. This one was, you submit to me or I'm going to kill you. That's basically what his view was. So he wasn't a nice person. And then there was the second comment, which there was, the second one was the alien one. So the guy who saw my post thought I was lying, and then told me a big false delusion about how he's gone around space in an alien spaceship and seen lots of gas. I didn't actually read it. I skimmed read it, but it was obviously not the truth. And that too was telling me that I'm not ready, that I'm full of, I don't have a clue of the truth, what the truth is, and then there's this goat guy who just butted in, Garrett or something, and yeah, just I'm not bothered by these people, but he's someone who would insult me for all the things that he is doing. And yet yesterday I had quite a long conversation with him, and I gave him a very good argument as to why I am actually God. But I think he stopped, like a sheep that charges at its owner. As soon as the sheep feels a little bit like threatened, I'm not going to do that. Okay. As soon as this guy saw that I was quite intelligent, I think he wasn't going to attack me anymore. But the second he saw that that weird guy with all the delusions about how he's been around space in a spaceship, as soon as that guy started sort of bullying me a bit, he sided with that guy and was very keen to just say, you're right and she's wrong, even though I was saying truth and he was completely lying. But yeah, I think this is just it's a taster of what people are really like here. A lot of people might feel sympathy for others because they should, and that's how they should feel. But if you knew what some people are actually like, what they actually say, what they actually support, what they actually believe in, and what they think is fine to promote and stuff, you just start being like, why am I supporting these people? You sympathize with people because you see them as like you. You think about all the poor people that are going through horrible war situations or poverty and stuff, and you think, oh, this could be me. I was just lucky to be born in America, or just lucky to be born into a rich family. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. You were born to people. You were born to parents who were most like you, and I know that can be variable. Like some people do have bad parents, and it might be because in their past life they were a kind of bad person, but people get parents that are similar to them. I think the only exception is if you've had like a big long gap. I think Eminem hasn't been a human for 2,000 years, and that's the reason why he got the parent that he got. But yeah, mostly if you've had enough lives in space periods times in space, enough spaced out, enough lives, enough lives spaced out evenly over the timeline, you will probably find that you should be giving good parents, or being born into certain families, or certain. Sometimes you could be born into a poor family and then have opportunities come your way as well. But there's different. It is different for everyone. I can't say it's a set ruling or anything. There's no such thing as that. But people think differently. Some people think differently, and they don't deserve. They don't deserve They don't deserve the same things that others deserve. And yeah, these people are mad. And they were the ones that were thinking it's fine to call me mad and insult me and treat me like I'm just a normal person, and that they can say what they want to me, it doesn't matter. And I think if that was if I was just a normal person, it wouldn't bother me. But yeah, these people have absolutely no interest in looking at my page to find out what I'm like, what I'm actually, what I'm about. And yet these people are the same people that would go, say, oh, the government's covering it up, the government's hiding us, hiding the aliens. But by them promoting aliens as being, green or grey beings from a different planet, they're actually hiding me, because I can't tell them that I'm an alien, because they wouldn't believe it, they wouldn't take it seriously. But yeah, don't know what I'm going to do about this tap thing. I'm going to try the neighbour next door. There's another neighbour that I could ask. He might actually have the right device that I could use. I mean, literally all I need to do is just do that and turn it. So I don't want to have to spend £20 on a proper metal device to do that. And I could call a handyman, but I can't guarantee that he will have the right device, because you do actually need a specific thing, in which case I will need a plumber. And yeah, the idea of bringing out a £70 plumber just to fix it is not very. I still got the tap on the bath tub running, so if I want to do my teeth I can run the water on the bathtub and then just use the sink, but yes, it might be a bit inconvenient until I can fix it.